Getting more out of less, that seems to be the way of the world right now. There's only so much of anything, and we want to make it last, right? Can we get more out of our phones so we don't have to charge them as often? Or can we make them run longer so we don't get stuck without them? The short answer is a resounding yes. But how much more we can get out of a phone battery is still up for discussion. Still, no matter how long your phone's battery life lasts, there are ways that you can definitely make it last longer. Let's take a look at some different ways. See what's sucking the most juice. Hit settings, device, battery settings, and see the list of all the apps and how much battery power they're using. If an app you don't use often seems to take up disproportionate amount of power, consider force stopping it or uninstalling it. Another huge power sucker is the vibrating motor in Android smartphones. Electric motors are terribly inefficient with power usage, having to create motion against friction and also wasting some energy as heat. If you don't need vibrations on, turn them off. This includes for notifications such as the phone ringing, haptic feedback. Haptic feedback is when your Android twitches a little when you touch a button, kind of hardware buttons, or in many cases, even software buttons. The third in this row is the unnecessary hardware radios, that is, either 2G or 3G. In this case, turn the unnecessary hardware radios off, like either keep it as GSM or keep it as WCDMA. The power saving mode, use it if you have it. Enabling a power saving mode manages the phone's various power sapping features for you. It might, for example, prevent apps from updating in the background, dim your screen, reduce the screen timeout settings, disable on-screen animations, and turn off vibrations. You can switch on this mode before going to bed and thus saving a huge amount of battery life for your phone. Paint it black. For Android phones with AMOLED screens, high-end smartphones such as Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, S6, HTC One series, hyper bright displays uses a lot of power. Snatch back some of that battery juice by choosing a dark background so that fewer pixels need to be lit up. Head to the settings, display, wallpaper and choose a black background. Okay Google. Those are the two Google hot words which your phone keeps on listening to always, and thus eating up a lot of juice of your battery. So go to the Google app and the settings and uncheck the OK Google hot word detection, thus saving a lot of juice out of the battery. Multitasking, the ability to run more than one app at a time, is a powerful smartphone feature. It can also burn a lot of energy. By killing apps that you aren't actually using, you can drastically reduce your CPU's workload and cut down on its power consumption. In Android, tap the multitasking button, usually the rightmost of the three icons or the center of the button, and you can swipe away apps to close them, or there'll be a rightmost button to close all. Screen timeout. Under your phone's display settings menu, you should find an option labeled screen timeout or something similar. This setting controls how long your phone's display stays lit after receiving an input such as a tap. Every second counts here, so set your timeout to the shortest available time. On most Android phones, the minimum is 15 seconds, so if your screen timeout is currently set to 2 minutes or 5 minutes, consider reducing that to 15 seconds. Many Android apps, including social networks, weather apps, or news apps, come with widgets that sit handily on the home screen for real-time updates. However, widgets are battery drainers due to their constant syncing with the mothership or power-sucking animations. If you don't need a permanent window into Facebook newsfeed or regular updates on the weather, remove the superfluous widget by pressing and holding it, then dragging it to the trash can icon. Only use what you can use. Major phone functions like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and GPS all consume battery power when running. To shut these functions off, just swipe down from top of your screen to show all the functions like Wi-Fi, NFC and such. If the function is highlighted, that means it is on. Just tap it to turn it off. In few phones, even if the Wi-Fi is off, it keeps on scanning at the back end. So go to the Wi-Fi settings, go to the advanced options and uncheck the always allow scanning. It saves a lot of battery power. Hidden away in settings menu are usually plenty of options for disabling things like sensors or features that you never use and many more. Most of these will make a minimal impact on battery life, but combined, they can become significant. On an iPhone, you can disable the raise to speak features in the Siri settings, which is said to increase battery life. Finally, as we have mentioned, it's worth rebooting your phone from time to time rather than leaving it in sleep mode all the time. This can sometimes cure otherwise inexplicable battery draining problems. Thank you.